Hey YouTube, this is Wexdarn here for episode 2 of Let's Play Viewtiful Joe. There's something I missed in the really long episode 1 playthrough, and I'm just quickly going to show you that now. Right, so the thing that I wanted to show off that I forgot to is basically that at any point during this game, if you hit pause,
Take 5.
you hear the director say something, and yeah, it actually changes what it says in every single episode, so I thought it was pretty cool, and it's something I wanted to highlight, and yeah, sorry for forgetting it. I'm really going to try to pull that off in every single chapter, so let's hope I remember it. Anyway, first thing we're going to do is we're going to the power-up shop, and we're finally going to buy the red hot kick. There we go, very useful move. So we'll keep that with us. Can't really afford anything else worthwhile, so going to exit. And let's get this second episode started.
Let's get it on!
Anyway, I like these loading screens just because it's kind of like the old style movies, but because they take forever, this is the last one you're going to see. Alright, so I kind of muted myself there because I like the intro music to the episodes, but okay, so if you jump and then kick, you do that, which kind of suspends you in the air a little bit, or lets you fall down slower. But if you jump into the air, then press down and kick, you sort of glide along the air, and it's kind of a cool kick, and you can use it to fight enemies, you bounce off the head, and you can use it again. So actually a really cool idea for an attack in my opinion. I'm actually going to avoid like abusing slow as much as I do, or as much as I did in the first episode. It's like, it's not impossible to rack up a load of V points without going into slow. It's just it does rack them up a lot easier. And it's not as if you can't fight them whilst you're not going in slow-mo, so I guess I just like doing it just because it kind of looks cooler, and you do double damage and you get a multiplier on your V points, but I mean we still get a fair amount of points. Anyway, go over to the side here and you get this like group of optional enemies that you can fight. And after saying that I'm not going to use slow, just use it there. So this area can be a little tricky due to the amount of projectiles that get thrown at you. Like, oh come on, I was going to punch that missile then. But, like, the amount of missiles and bombs that get dropped on you during this fight can make it a little bit tricky. But as long as you keep an eye on what's above you, then you should be fine. I didn't even realise that missile was there until it hit that enemy, but okay. I can't help abusing slow, man. I think I'm addicted to the slow button. But, right, let's see. Come on, where are you? Shooting a missile at me, okay. I think that got that guy. As you can see, you actually get a red canister from this, which is worth 10 film canisters. And considering you need 50 to extend your VFX meter, that's actually really quite a hefty amount to throw on top. So it's quite impressive really. Okay, so in this little go for it section you have these two like shooter guys, but the second guy doesn't show up until you kill the first. So just reflect the bullets back at them, and then you need to hit them in slow twice, and well, in slow twice when they have that little target icon on them, and they'll disappear. But yeah, I think I did quite well there. I get the highest one on its own, and then all you have to do is line yourself up, and you can pick up all the canisters in one straight kick. Which is really quite cool to do. I'm gonna cut out that. Oh, cut out just a second too late. Come on, guys. I like how he says too slow and then he kind of just throws him into slow motion. Right, come on. At least it's not as bad as like Sonic shouting you're too slow. Alright, so 41, straight down the hole into the sewers, lovely area. And you've got enough to fill up your canister, which is great. Anyway, you can see these two little pillars here, and if you like hit them all the way to the top, the other one will drop down, and yeah, you can't really do a lot with it yet. Anyway, over here, and we got our first boss fight of episode 2.
Joe, my young apprentice, this is your last trial. If you overcome this trial, you will have acquired the last power. Now let's get this over with. Come and get me!
Just go for it!
Right, so here's our third and final fight with Captain Blue. So just sort of punch him here to get out of that aura thing. You want to get away from the lightning at all costs.
Nice try.
And just keep punching and you'll be fine. Yeah, this is like the point in the episode where you will kind of have to abuse slow. So yeah, you're going to want to do that. Just get away from him when he's glowing with lightning though, because you can't touch him at all then. Anyway, he fights really well for like an overweight old man. Well, I suppose that is right, because he's supposed to be like this legendary hero of the movie land. Because like Joe practically worships the guy. Oh come on, I should have got that kick on him. Right, there we go. Uppercut him into the air. Get away from him as normal Joe. Try getting some food out of here. There we go. Want to get away from him. Right, start beating him up. Oh, that wasn't helpful. Oh, big bottles of juice are just great because it like fills up your meter again, and that's just great. Is what you want. Lost half my health to him, but it's not as bad as one of my test recordings for this was. Like, I lost like all but one.
Joe, I have nothing more to teach you. The beautiful moves and techniques that flourish from your heroic gut instincts. Exploit them for good deeds and save this world. The world is waiting for you. Joe, go now. May hero-ness be with you.
And also with you. Anyway, for this we get, and we can stun our enemies and punch them like that. When enemies are surrounding you, you can kick and you do this really cool spin kick move. And then my favourite part about this, when you zoom in and jump, you get this spiral attack. And then when you zoom in the air, you come down and do this shockwave attack, so that's really cool. Another thing that's really good about it is the whole red hat clip. When you do that, you kind of set on fire, and if you hit an enemy with it, then you actually set them on fire. It does do damage to them, but unless it's a boss enemy, you've got no way of really tracking their health. Because I mean, they only lose body parts if you beat them up in slow-mo, so there's no real way of tracking them. But trust me, it does drain the health, because sometimes they'll just drop dead from being on fire. And really, I don't think we can blame them for that, but I'm just going to pause here so we can listen to the director.
Let's take a break.
And there we are. Trust me, it gets funnier as they get along. So, yeah, I like Capcom's sense of humour in this game. So anyway, zoom in. and voila. I should point out that if you actually want to just grind V points, you can do them on these pillars, because all you have to do is just hit the pillar whilst you're zoomed in and it will give you more points. And as long as you don't complete the puzzle, then you can just keep on redoing it for more and more points. So if you really want to grind without points for effort, then... If you really want to grind for points without effort, then there's your solution. So, I didn't mean to go max V, because as you saw it affected the water. If you do that again, you go all the way up. And I'm just going to collect some of these canisters, and up here we go. Alright. Just use slow-mo to bring you guys back onto the ground. Not really that much of an abuse, since it's just to disable them, really. But well, that one's definitely knocked down. Oh, bombs. Come on. Down on the ground with you. Now, if you grab a red box like that, it actually stuns them. And if you go into slow motion, you can hit them with like the target markers, so if there's a whole bunch of them, you can quickly rack up a multiplier. I just got hit by the laser. It's a rather annoying inconvenience thing, because it's not that easy to pick up on screen, so yeah, that can be kind of annoying. Anyway, any of you going to attack me? Come on. These bats are really annoying enemies because they don't actually do damage to Joe. They just sort of latch onto him. And it means that other enemies can do damage to Joe. And Joe can't really dodge them in this form. In this form, Joe can't really dodge them when he's got bats on top of him. All you have to do is just shake the control stick back and forth a few times and they fall off. And that bat just clipped straight through the wall. There we go. Get up here. We need 3 more canisters. How are we doing? Oh, it's ass. Or arc? I don't know. Right, so in this room, the bats are actually your main enemies even though they don't do damage to you, simply because if the bats are in the room whilst the other enemies are in the room, then the other enemies can really rack up damage on you quite quickly. So like, right there I had to use slow and dodge out of the way of this guy. Alright, just rock the control stick back and forth and you should be fine. I think they do damage if they're on there for like too long. But if you just rock the control stick, like as soon as they get on you, you'll be fine. So don't worry about that. There's a couple of other enemies that do latch onto you in this game, so that's an important thing to remember. I remember when I was first playing through this game, I didn't know that you could just whack them off. I just thought you had to wait it out. And like learning this now, it makes it a whole lot easier. Oh, come on, bats. Work with me a little bit here. Like, I've just stunned this guy twice now and I can't hit him. 3 times now! Oh. Just beat that guy up. So it knocked me back, but it still didn't do any damage to me, so I'm really not sure if it's actually possible at all for them bats to do anything. I've got a feeling I get rewarded for beating all the enemies in this room, because they wouldn't keep respawning like this if there wasn't a purpose. Oh, a golden canister. I don't remember how much they're worth, but it did seem to increase me a fair bit. So that's useful. Alright, the idea with this is when the electric shock gets brought down, you're supposed to slow down, and the longer it's there, it builds up the electricity in the machine. So that's a really cool concept, and here we have our second boss. Right, this boss is just Joker again, but he has a couple new moves up his sleeve. But he's basically the same fight and with a bigger health bar. And I think his ballerina move can teleport him, if that couldn't do him in the first fight. But it's like that move there, he can teleport using it sometimes. you know, or when you slow it down, he's just still spinning there, and his teleport's just meant to him being going so fast. But he's still kind of the same boss fight. If you get the opportunity to like stun him in the centre, then max speed him. Because it's the only way you're going to get what's in that box. I can't remember what it is now, because since it's been such a long time that I've had the opportunity to find out. So, anyway. The idea of this is you're supposed to zoom in and slow down, but I found it's just easier to slow down. It's like you can just about make it out still. So, oh, they actually lined up the hamburgers then. But anyway, you've seen what you have to do for this before, so I'm just going to cut to when I've got everything I want out of the machine. And we're back. We've got a key out of the machine by getting all the V symbols. Slam it in here. We are that. And now we're just going to shoot out of the sewers on this pipe. Get some exercises going in the air there. I love how Joe can just defy gravity at will though. It's quite a cool ability to have. Right, keep the missile and where are you off? Oh, you're going to kill that enemy, that's okay. Yeah, any missiles that you, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but any missiles that you hit will actually just home in on a random enemy. And if you slow down the explosion does more damage. But like I said, it's rather draining, and if you're fully drained, you just transform back, and it's not good for your health, really. Okay, so 2 more enemies to fight. As long as you hit one of these flying enemies whilst you're in slow-mo, they're guaranteed to hit the ground, and sometimes they'll just hit the ground anyway. And it's easier to fight on the ground than in the air, I found. So, whee! Right. I've never been able to really reach that box, so I can't tell you what's inside it. But anyway, you can see like all these like shops and everything in the background, and you can tell where Capcom's mind was when they were making this level. Like with all the billboards and the backgrounds and stuff, but anyway, here's another little enemy fight thing. And this one I can abuse slow-mo a bit on just because it's like that many enemies around, it really helps build up your score. 480 without trying, and if you look in the background to our right there, behind the bike, you can see like an old design of Viewtiful Joe. That's really quite cool. Like, and I like how it's just kind of subtly there in the background. But alright, just have to beat up these female robots. I like how Capcom's mind was definitely there in this level, considering how these robots are actually built, because I'm sure those add nothing to the actual effectiveness of the robots. And you know exactly what I mean, but so yeah, I really do like this level though. Like, just how upbeat this level is, and how they incorporate things like a car horn into like the main music for this level. It's a really well designed level in my opinion. And we have one of my favourite uses of the slow motion thing coming up right here. But because I don't want to do that just yet, I am going to go here into where a bus just crashed. If you go along the bottom here, you get 2 boxes of food, so very useful. There, just keep bouncing out the water like in the Charles III fight, and it won't help. It won't hurt you. It won't help you either, but it won't hurt you. And what you have to do is run over here, jump on top of the bus, use slow-mo until the flame's fully charged like that. The bus just soars through the air. I don't think I was that bad again, but there's some food, and here's the thing. Remember how I told you to buy slide? I didn't even realise that was there, I just sort of went over on a whim then, but anyway, remember how I told you to buy slide? This is where it comes in handy. Just go underneath this bus, and you actually get 40 boomerangs and 40 shocking pink bombs. That's really cool. There's something good about the shocking pink bombs I'm going to show you in the next part of this chapter. And here comes the boss for the first part of the chapter.
Just go for it.
Fine. Just bring him down to the ground. Smack him around a little bit, and I remember that I beat that very first boss of this like incredibly easily. I don't believe how quickly that guy went down. It normally takes me like forever to beat him, so that's kind of helpful. Alright, if I can run it in between the bullets so I can dodge them all. Right. It's kind of annoying when he gets a red propeller blade because it means you can't bring him down to the ground at all. That's 240 points, and here we go. Somebody turn around and oh, that's just good timing. I mean, I shouldn't have used slow-mo as much as I did, but I'm glad I did, basically. Alright, where's some missiles I can fling back at the helicopter? Because these really rack up a lot of damage. In fact, that's how I beat the first one so quickly, I think. Just like missile damage just racking up on the guy. Run underneath him. I just don't want to fight him with like a low amount in the gauge. Oh, turning myself back to normal, Joe. Transform me back. Like a fight like this where it just keeps on dropping these like 5 enemies over and over, you can really build up your score really quickly. So yeah, this is going well. Oh, I thought I was doing well during that fight. I'm taking a hit. Oh, I didn't mean to go slow-mo first, I meant to zoom in. Why don't you just fire missiles at me, please? It gives me more ammo to work with against you. Come on, just a bit more. Nearly there. Yay, more food. And some V coins, those are always useful. Especially the giant ones like that are worth like 100. Why'd you lose health so quickly compared to the other guy? It's a bit weird. Just use slide to quickly get under there. Right, come on. Can I get that? No, I don't think I can get that box. But come on, Joe. Oh. Oh, come on, there's sent missiles out. I can use them. Get the helicopter. Drain its health. I don't care that transform back. That was a good use of it. Anyway. Let's keep on going. And Joe runs straight into the building. So here we are for the second part of episode 2. I think we're just going to power up and then move on. What do I want? mean, ideally, I'd like to get Viewtiful forever and then the turbocharger as quickly as possible, but I don't know, I just think I'm going to top up on life first. Like that's rather costly for the next one, so we're not going to get it, but yeah, we don't have to worry about buying boomerangs or shocking pink, and I'll show you what's good about them in the next section. Okay, so here we are, and it's time for Joe Must Go On, for the second section of episode 2. Alright, here we are at the Rhino Hotel, which is the best animal to name your hotel after. But anyway, slow down, beat up these enemies, and hopefully clear out this lobby relatively quickly. Because these gunslinger enemies can be a pain at times. Like them, where he apparently shot through the floor. Well, shot through the table, sorry, that he was using for the floor. Come on. I like how when you zoom in, like the ballerina enemies are still kind of like shocked and they don't do the normal stance. Which is kind of cool. It's like the whole like zoom in shock thing. It's kind of an ability that I tend to forget for whatever reason, but it is a really useful ability. So I probably should try using it more often. Alright, come on. Right, what you saw there was the boomerang. If you hold down the punch button, Joe will fling a boomerang in the shape of a 4-pointed star at the enemy. So it comes in handy sometimes when fighting enemies at long range, and if you hold down long enough it extends and does more damage, and I think it flies a bit faster as well. So yeah, really kind of useful. Right, drop down here, let me surprise you. You get surprised in mid-air, really. That's kind of weird. Anyway, you'll see this arrow pointing to the ceiling here. What it's supposed to do is just sort of like spin jump into the ceiling and the chandeliers drop down. So just run over to the side and don't red hot kick the statue because you'll just fall off. Throw the ruby in there that you got from the statue and climb up here, go on the other side and find a sapphire with another statue. So throw that in. I don't think we'll be that bad. In all honesty, the grades seem to make themselves up at random sometimes. So here you'll see like we've got a little 20 thing here. That's because in this game, well in this hotel, should I say, we're trying to reach the 100th floor. And you go up in increments of 10, but as you can see we've got a long way to go still. So, yeah. Right, so in this room you get a bunch of enemies that you can quickly rack up combos on. This can be really good if you get lucky with the enemy drops, in that they drop the massive juice things all the time. You can actually really get a good combo going, like you can get into like the thousands really. Like I've had it like way over 1,000 before. So they can be really, really good. Okay, so now we've got these enemies with swords. Basically, I think they resemble like the pink robots that you had to fight in the city. I think they're like the male counterparts to them. I mean, obviously they've got two frontal parts that are very intricate for the robot's design. Like, you can't build that robot without them. I mean, I'm not sure what part of the robot would lose function, but you obviously can't build it without that part. It's not just Capcom's designers acting like kind of perverted, but oh well. Right. The other thing that I haven't shown off is the shocking pink bombs. If you hold down X, then Joe will kick a bomb. And if you slow down time, then the explosion gets bigger and enemies can get hit in it. If you hold down a bomb for long enough, you can hear that Joe whistles the Super Mario Bros. Theme. Well, that's what he whistles when he's falling, but if he's just standing still, yeah, I think that's really cool. Right, okay, I'm going to slow down, beat you up. I've only got one bit of health here, so I need to be careful. Right, come on. Oh, at least I managed to get a little bit of health back now. And I managed to add another gauge onto the meter, so that's great. You find this guy in here, and for some reason, this guy's AI is really bad in this room, and if you just leave him to his own devices, generally he just bounces around the room. It's kind of funny, but I just really want to get through this level, considering how low my health is. You saw that I just got a red film canister from like the ceiling then. What that actually is the fact that if you stun an enemy towards the middle of the room and then uppercut him up, there's actually a big pink chest up there that has the red canister inside it. So I just knocked that down for myself. Come on. In the background, that massive spiky barrel that you see will actually kill you if it gets too close to the front of the screen. So you really want to take out every enemy on the screen before it gets towards you. And it's getting awfully close now, so I need to take care of these guys. Please nobody make a PewDiePie joke about barrels in the comments. In fact, just don't make a PewDiePie joke in general. Right. There he is. There we go. We got a bab. So we can just go up here. And I think we did rather well in the amount of V points we got there. Now the idea of this is that you get a bomb, you punch it and it breaks down the door. But you can also use your shocking pink bombs if needs be on that. I mean, shouldn't be because you've got plenty of time to interact with the bomb, but you know, if you need it, it's there. Alright, so in we go, and we've got these guys that look a bit like American football players right here. And personally I think that leads into something I quite like about this game, is that basically the character you're playing as, Joe, when you get down to it, he really isn't your typical hero. I mean, in comparison to a lot of characters and enemies in this game, he's really quite short, and in actuality a lot of people would say like his girlfriend is much more attractive than he is. And the fact that at the start of the game you see that Joe is actually going to the theatres because he wants to see a film that he absolutely adores and hasn't seen for ages, and like he gets really into the film. And basically Viewtiful Joe is a massive nerd, and I love that about him. I mean, I love the fact that you're basically playing a nerd, because it's kind of like the perfect design for a player character that Capcom could come up with. Because Capcom's basically looked at the gamer demographic and gone, well, basically, gamers are nerds. And we are. The majority of us, we are just flat out nerds. Let's face it. So what they've done is create a character who's really quite nerdy. Not about video games, but about movies. And they've basically put him into the ultimate power fantasy of a nerd. They've given him the hot girlfriend that he's got to save. They've given him superpowers. He's got the chance to meet his hero and be told that he's supposed to be the next one. And he basically gets sucked into a fantasy world that he loves. You are given the chance to play a nerd's power fantasy. And personally, I think that is just genius on Capcom's part. And really, I think that's kind of the reason why the game sort of appeals to me so much, is that you do get to play out like this power fantasy that a lot of people have, because who hasn't looked at like a film they love and just like, damn, I wish I was part of that universe. And Joe gets to live out that. So, honestly, I give props to Capcom for that. I mean, I don't know if that was intentional, but if it was, then I really like the idea behind everything that they put into this. Although I might just be overthinking this, like I normally do with video games, and I've just completely missed the point completely, but, and let's see if I can use completely again in a sentence, but I don't know, I would really like it if that's the idea behind it, if Capcom was just being really smart about it. I mean, we have to dodge these lasers, I mean we really have to dodge these lasers considering my health. Right, get you through there. Can I light my fuse by using that? Yes I can. I need to get out of the way of the bomb, because otherwise it's just going to explode and kill me. So, I think I did that rather successfully. So, no, I need that health. There we go. And this whole, and these like characters being designed to be American football players, these kind of work into like this whole nerd fantasy of wanting to be able to beat up guys like that. I mean, I'm not saying we're all like basement dweller nerds who are too weak to defend ourselves, but that is a stereotype, and if they wanted to work Joe into this nerd power fantasy, that would be a stereotype they'd go for. I think that's just really smart design, and I'm guessing there's another pink chest up there considering I just got another 10 canisters thrown down at me. And I don't think I've had this like bigger gauge on this level before. Oh, I'm just going to go in here so my bar can recuperate. Probably use this. Does that help out at all out here, guys? Oh god, I forgot about this whole rolling barrel situation in the background. Come on, guys. Just beat you up and then turn around, beat you up. Football player guy. Right, there we go. Come on, where's the guy with the key? We need him quite soon. Well, I think we're going to be quite squashed here. Right, there he is. Fastest way to beat him, zoom in and punch him. Right, so in this room we have to like press down this button, but take out these enemies first, so you can actually do that. Why were you just staring at me like that? I was just waiting for you to attack and you were just sort of staring at me. Strange little enemy guys. Strange little Jado minions. Come on. Right, there's a lot of V points again. There's always one, isn't there? One who refuses to die. Whack that button in. Got a staircase. I really hope we get a health top up soon. Oh, look at all these rhino statues dotted around. I mean, they're not foreshadowing for anything at all. Not at all. It's not as if the guy at the opening of this episode has anything to do with our believer. So, oh, moving bookcase. And staircase. And Joker again. He has a really big health bar this time. So, come on. Fight me. Come on. I've only got 3 bits of health and I have to beat Joker. Well, I've only got 2 beats of health and I have to hit Joker. And now I've got no VFX and just 1 bit of health. This can all end badly. We're on the last bar. Come on. Come on. Nearly there. Nearly there, Joe. We can do this. Where are you? Just kind of hate the fact that Joe's kind of close combat dude. Because if it was long range, this fight would be a bit easier, and we'd be able to fight off the whole gun enemies easier as well. Again, I think this ties into the nerd idea that we had earlier, because any guy can shoot a ranged weapon, but it's something like kind of special to be able to fight off enemies using your own skills, and you've already seen this already, so I'm just going to cut. Alright, we're back. We've got a book for the bookcase, and here we go. And I know I keep harping on it, but I just thought another thing for this whole Joe is a nerd like thing. Like when he kicks the bombs, he actually whistles the Super Mario Brothers theme. That's just awesome. So the best thing to do whilst he's fighting his enemies is to whistle that. In fact, the best thing to do while he's handling explosives is to whistle that. I think that's pretty damn nerdy. I mean, I love the Super Mario Brothers theme, but if I was holding a bomb, I don't think that would be the thing that comes to mind. And we're so close to getting that last canister. Anyway, come on. And this is the end of that part of the level. We get no save option just before the boss fight. You just get power up and carry on. Right, we are so close to getting that, but I'm so concerned for my health. Yeah, I could get Viewtiful forever, but I will just upgrade this and then I'll get Viewtiful forever from after the boss fight, because we're going to get a bonus from that, obviously. Anyway, let's just go to Joe Must Go On. So we've got the boss fight for this episode.
Move on.
Alright, so in we go, we're at floor 100. See, we've got candles up here.
Davis is in the house. To be wild.
Weird singing. Now what you want to do here is punch the bomb up onto the chandelier with fire and punch it across so it explodes in mid-air. If that doesn't work, then of course we have our little bombs, which can be really useful for this section. You just float down slowly with them. So, yeah. Shocking ping bombs are really useful, but not in terms of combat. It's just areas with these bombs or when there's explosive destructible environments. Alright, so let's go for this boss cutscene.
Hey, yo, man. What's up? What can I do for you, kiddo? I guess you heard I rule the roost around here. Am I right? Huh?
Oh man, don't flatter yourself. You're just another one of those old attractions in this movie land.
What? Wait a minute, Jack. You mean to tell me you knew this world was called Movie Land? Oh, interesting. Alright, spit it out. Where you from?
Huh?
Now I'm surprised I know a punk like you from the real world knew about our plans, man. It ain't gonna matter anyway after I'm finished with you, you understand? So what's with the feed watch on your arm, man? What, you think you're some kind of Mega Man or something?
Pretty cool, huh? I'm here to avenge Captain Blue. Just call me... I haven't come up with a good name yet.
You know who I am? You know who I am? I'm the one who put that star on Captain Blue's face. Now you'll be lucky if you get away with your life, boy.
Just go for it!
So this is Hulk Davidson, and in case you didn't catch it, yes, that is indeed a pun on the motorcycles that he has in the background. With Harley Davidson and everything, so... Yeah, this game likes to have its fair share of puns everywhere. So, he has these fire bombs that get dropped regularly, but if you get set on fire you can just run out of it, and like every big hulking enemy in video games with horns on his head, sometimes he charges into the wall, and if you dodge out of the way he will just stun himself. There he goes again. I'm surprised he's doing it that often really, because it's actually normally a very rare attack for him to do. Oh god, this could be a very quick fight. I wouldn't mind losing my first life here though, because this is actually kind of a hard boss fight in my opinion. Like, it's not the hardest in the game, but it can be quite difficult, so... Anyway. Boomerang comes in handy here if you want him to keep his distance from you. So just remember that, and he has his own sort of boomerang style attack in the form of that axe. And sometimes he brings out these missiles. As you know, punch a missile, homes in on enemy, and since he's the only enemy in the room, it's been quite devastating really, because if you time it right and like slow down the explosion to do more damage, it can be really quite powerful against him. Like, I think that shaved a fair bit of health off him. This guy is definitely the hardest boss that we've fought so far, and I do not want to be regular Joe. Red Hot kick out of there. I think he's charging. There we go. Remember, the attack actually does 2 damage. Like, it does 2 hearts of damage normally, but if you're regular Joe it does 4, which is quite devastating for an attack at this point in the game. Well, at any point in the game 4 is really devastating, but at this point especially, jeez. Right, sometimes he'll do this like axe slice across the floor, and you can just dodge that simply by going up like you would do with other enemy attacks, but other times he does this axe attack that's just straight ahead and there's no real way of dodging it other than just run away from him. But, well, it's kind of... The one thing I have to complain about in this boss fight is that if you take away his axe, he'll still pose like he's holding his axe. Which just kind of makes you think that this fight was a bit cheap. Because it's not as if he's got a lack of moves or anything, in fact he has a rather large variety of them. It's just like the graphics. It's just like his model doesn't have a pose for not holding the axe, and it kind of comes off a little bit unpolished. It's not as if nobody was going to take away the axe. Because otherwise they wouldn't give the health bar away. They wouldn't give the axe a health bar, but
Ready? Action.
Alright, so I died, and basically I think this was about the health level I was at, like, when I died. Well, I think this was the health level he was at when he died, because obviously I was on 0 health, but anyway. As you can see, I was doing pretty good until I started commentating again. Goes all downhill when you remember you're recording. I mean, geez, he just shaved off my health rather quickly then. Right, so I have to focus on doing all this without getting hit. Come on. Right, bombs, the fire bombs I don't mind because you can just outrun them. Alright, there's... the boomerang, very useful. Love it in this fight. Just love it scratching his face like that. There you go. Keep using it. I love the fact that there was a storage of 40 of them going for free in that city level. Come on, just keep punching. We'll break that axe. Or maybe not, but we'll outrun the fire. Come on, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. We can do this. Do more damage to him. There we go. Right, just punch the missiles at him and we'll be fine. Come on. Give me Viewtiful back. Give me the Viewtiful back. There we go. Did I get rid of his axe again already, or? Oh, that was close. Come on. Well, it still counted as a hit apparently for me, so missile went back. Right, quickly build up. No! Alright guys, so I died again, and I think this was about the amount of health he had left when I last died. So hopefully I can take him out on this life, because I've not got another one, and I don't want to have to use a continue, because the amount of continues you use actually shows up on your profile, like on your save profile. So yeah, I don't want to have to do that. Anyway, let's beat this guy up. Get away from the fire, and our health isn't too bad, it could be better, but alright, I'm glad that after boss fights your health gets refilled anyway. So it could be a whole lot worse, let's put it that way. And that could have been so much worse there. Come on. Oh, if I hadn't changed then, that would have just been all over for me. One thing that's kind of nice about the whole death situation in this is that you don't lose the experience or V points that you've gained in your last life by dying. Like, you don't lose them at all. So it's not as if all that effort you put in on that last life went to nothing. Like, it's still something to show for your last valiant efforts. No, don't call it a punch, I call it throwing a rocket at you. Oh, for... Right, so when you continue, you get sent back to the power-up screen just before the boss fight. And basically, if there's anything that you want to buy as power-ups, you can get them here. And we actually have enough for Viewtiful forever, so I think I will actually pick that up. And since we don't have enough to extend our life, or give us take 2, I will show off what Viewtiful forever does when I get him down to his red bar again. So here we are with Hulk Davidson on his final bar, and I'm going to show off what Viewtiful forever actually does. So Joe, he wants to attack me, and I didn't do it because I dodged, so we do that in slow-mo, then zoom in, Joe does a pose and it damages the enemies. It doesn't do much against bosses, but against regular enemies it damages everything on screen, and sometimes it can really help you out of a tight spot. So it does damage Hulk, but not a lot. And I guess maybe it was an unwise choice to get that rather than the VFX turbocharger, but to be honest, that's one of my most used moves in this game. And it's a really good move, so I think in the end it will be worth it, but maybe I should have got the VFX charger first. I don't know, we'll see how it turns out. I'm doing quite well in this run of it, as you can see. So I just have to keep following up with punches, and hopefully these missiles will help me take them out a bit. Come on. And did that help? Nope. At least we're right near the end of it, so there's not too big a chance of everything just going wrong at once. Apart from right now. Da. Oh, straight back into regular Joe. Like, I think if you do the whole dodge thing, like as soon as you transform back, then it just does. I mean, then it just takes away a huge chunk of it, like pretty much all of it in one go. And, well done.
Hulk's going to the big house! Ouch! You little punk.
A man wears a scar as a medal. Not to say I couldn't win unhurt, of course.
Thus, Joe overcame the frightful power of Hulk Davidson. But on the blueprint that had fallen into his hands was outlined the most terrible of plans. The Shadow, seeking to stretch their evil power to the ocean itself, had planted a bomb in the underwater city of Mu. Already, water was starting to flood the city. Thousands of lives were at risk. Joe had no choice but to abandon the search for Sylvia and race to rescue the innocents of Mu.
Dang, this is horrible. I can't even read this junk. But more importantly, a superhero needs a super ride.
Joe boards his trusty Six machine and embarks on a mission to save the underwater city. Don't forget to see the next installment, 2 Million Leagues Under the Sea. Till then, ta-ta!
Ready, Six Machine? Let's ride!
I was going to say that during that fight I kind of went through an awful lot of boomerangs. So I've got like 10 left, but yeah, that was Hulk Davidson, and in my opinion quite a hard fight. Like, the boss fights in this can be really quite tricky. Well, except for Charles III, of course, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the second episode of this, and I'll see you next time for 20 Million Leagues Under the Sea. See you later.